My son wants a project, so we are here to pick up a 1984 Corvette. These two tires are flat. Attempt to get it onto the trailer. Hey, little guy. Oh, there he goes. All right, here's the first car wash. Hey, what's up, ladies and guys? Hey, we're getting close to getting this car on the road, or actually test driving it. So I'm going to change the transmission filter. It's a 1984 Corvette. It has a 700 R4 transmission, automatic transmission. And I do believe there's 16 bolts on the bottom. They're metric, 16 bolts on the bottom of the pan. And I do believe the manual, I checked the manual, I'll put a little tab in there in the video. I think it's 12 foot-pounds of torque, or if you convert that to inch-pounds, which I did, it's gonna be 144 inch-pounds. I'm gonna use my quarter-inch drive to tighten it up. It's gonna be a little more accurate than trying to use a 3/8 drive torque wrench to get 12. All right, well, I got the car up in the air. I'm gonna go underneath and I will show you. Well, we'll do it together. I never did a transmission filter on this particular transmission. And this car, we have a whole series of videos that we've been doing, myself and my son. It was a little working project for father-son, basically, and teaching him how to do it. And we're getting to the point now where my last video, I just changed the engine oil for the very first time since we've had the car, and since the car had it done probably 15 to 19 years ago. I don't know. It was sitting there for a long time outside. So check out my videos. Start at video number 1, and you'll actually watch this come right through. Some of them are just very simple, just going through the car, learning the brakes. And then the other ones are actually more the mechanical side of it. So hope you enjoy the video. We're gonna do a transmission oil filter and pan gasket. It's a 1984 Corvette with an automatic transmission. It's a 700 R4 transmission. All right, see you underneath the car. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Checking the torque specs for the transmission, and transmission oil pan to case. There's 16 bolts, or 1.25 by 16, and it looks like it's 12 foot-pounds right there. 12 foot-pounds. I already got the car up in the air over the pit. I got some tools lined up, my metric sockets, quarter-inch and 3/8 drive. I got my torque wrench, got a couple lights, paper towels. I got some gloves. So I am going to now go underneath and see what we're working with. My pit is a little messy. All right, well, let me get a light here. And there's a transmission pan right there. It appears it has a leak in that corner. And yep, it's go right around, leave 2 bolts in, kind of pop it loose, let the fluid drain out. And then once it all drains out, you have to have a big pan. I have this big one right there because it goes everywhere. Transmission filters or transmission pans, I don't know why they don't put drain plugs in them. All right, well, let me get set up over here, get some tools out, and get this going. $13mm. The way I do transmission pans, because they're always messy and the fluid is higher than the pan height all the time. So I took out all the bolts all the way around except for one in that corner or one on that end, and then this one right there. And then when I was ready, I knew the pan was gonna be at that end. I loosened that one, and as soon as I loosened it, the fluid started pouring out. So then you just stop, give it some time, let the fluid drip. It drips from all over the place. And my little girl came out to visit. And it comes out through all the little holes and bolt holes in the seam. And you just take your time, let it drain, unless you want to make a mess all over your garage and all over you. I'm not in a rush. And just let it drip until it drains to that level. Then you loosen that bolt a little more and it drops it a little more. Loosen this bolt a little bit more. And then little by little, your pan will go on an angle to the point where a lot will come out, and you'll be able to hold it up flat after that and take it all out and dump it in the pan safely. All right, let's hope I don't make a big mess. Let's continue doing this. Once you get the pan off, before you just dump the fluid out, I like to look in the pan. See, we'll do this, I'll make it more of a mess. And you can see what kind of stuff is in the pan there. So you see all this? So it's actually not too bad. You can see there's just a little bit of sediment in the bottom there. Well, that's why I'm changing it. So I'll take this pan up top, wash it all out, drain the rest of this oil, obviously. Wash it all, take the rubber take this old gasket off here, and then we'll come back. Let me turn you around here now. And we'll go through this, let this drip dry for a little while longer while I'm going up top. And this is a filter right there. That's the filter. This is your shift linkage right there. And you can actually see your dipstick right there. That's the bottom of your dipstick right there. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's your transmission. That's your transmission filter. And your servos are on the other side here where those electrical wires go. Here's one right there, right up top. I'm sorry, I'm pointing, but I'm holding the camera at the same time with the other hand. All right, well, let me go back up top. I'm gonna clean this gasket off this. I'm gonna let this drip a little bit longer in the pan, right in there. And nice new oil filter, new starter, new transmission lines. So it's getting there, and we're gonna put a dual exhaust on also. Little by little. All right, let's go up top. So you saw me pull off the old filter. This filter is actually just press fit with our O-ring that's up there. Now, one thing, oh, and the filter I put over here to start draining, right there. But one thing you gotta be careful of is, here's a new one. Let me put my light, hang my light up so I can point. Here's a new one. See this orange gasket or this orange O-ring? Well, guess what? It's not on that one. Guess where it is? It's up in that hole, right there. Right up in there is the O-ring. So I gotta fish that out of there. That's what you always gotta pay attention. You always wanna make sure the new one, the new whatever you're replacing matches the old one, whatever you're replacing. All right, let me get something to pull that O-ring out carefully. There it is, right there. I don't know if you can see it. Got it. That's all I care about. They make these holes a little bit smaller to actually hold the gasket in place with your bolts. So you could get your bolts through here and they don't fall off. Now we just have to lift it up, put it in place, get these 4 started, and then start all the rest, a total of 16 of them. I have all 16 bolts in. They're just touching, they're not tight. These are the 2 long bolts. That's your shifter cable right there. And they're all just touching right now, all the way around. Now I'm gonna go get my 1/4-inch drive and I'm gonna tighten these to 12 or 144 inch-pounds. 12 foot-pounds or 144 inch-pounds. I'm gonna go get the 1/4-inch drive. I raised the car up. I can't reach. I gotta lower it down. Much easier. So I got my 1/4-inch drive. I got it set to 144. And I couldn't find a specific way to tighten this in the books, but I'm gonna basically go here, 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 here. I'm gonna work my way out this way and out this way. We're gonna snug them all up first. Of course, that's the wrong size. I grabbed a 12, I need a 13. All right, I'll be back. Car's too low. All right, let me sneak out of here. Hi. All right, let's tighten them up. Nice and clean. I just got some of the dirt off. One reason you want to wipe everything clean before you put oil in it is that way you know if it's a new oil leak or an old oil leak. Like, did you create another oil leak, or is it something else? So you can see the gasket, like all this stuff up here is still old. I couldn't get my hand up there to clean it that well. But the pan's nice and clean. So once I put fluid in it and start it, just like you do with the oil, you can see there's no oil leaking from the filter. It's all the old stuff, but the filter's dry on the oil filter and the drain plug is dry. Same concept. So the pan's nice and clean. We'll probably start pressure washing the car pretty soon once we get the rest, get it new tires and all that. But yeah, so that's ready to go. I'm going to run through this with a torque wrench one more time just to make sure I didn't miss any. I'm 99.9% positive I did it, but I want to just double check. And then we got to go up top and put some fluid in. All right, let's dump this oil before we get out of here. All right, let's go put some transmission fluid in it, and then we'll come back down, we'll check for leaks. So if you don't know, you fill up your transmission fluid in your transmission fluid dipstick. And this one has a bunch of crud on it up on top. I gotta wash that off. But if remember, we could see that from down below. That's what was sticking out the bottom. And this has the safe zone checkered mark from here to here. And it says add 1 pint or half a liter at the low point to bring it up to the full point. And it even has directions on it. It says check in park, transmission hot, engine idling, vehicle level. So we probably won't do all that today, just due to the fact that, if anything, I'll keep it low. I don't want to run the engine that long inside the house or inside the garage. Let me clean this up real quick. Otherwise I'll forget. Transmission filters, or funnels. Long and skinny. And it says Dextron 3, basically, for this is what everything looked, when I looked it up. And it said 5 quarts, so we're gonna do 4 quarts, then we'll check it. That's what it's supposed to look like. Red. All right, that's 4. The book says 5. But we're gonna check it. You can't open the doors on a Corvette when you have it in the air, because you lift up right underneath the door panels. You need the doors closed so the whole car is structurally sound. You take a chance on bending it if you, in my experience, if you open up a door with it on the lift. All right, I'm gonna check the fluid tomorrow once I have the car open and running. The garage running. I'm gonna check the fluid once I have the door open and the car running outside, because I know I'm a quart low. Because the book said it takes 5, but I'd much rather, there's no drain pan, so I'd much rather put one in later than not, you know, rather have less than more, let's put it that way. All right, we gotta go down bottom and check for leaks. I put it in gear, put it in reverse, neutral, drive, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, back up all the way back at the park, and I shut it off. Now we just gotta go check for leaks. So that means we gotta go back underneath the car. Well, that's it for the transmission on this, guys. It's I'll bring it out tomorrow and I will warm it up and check it out. Actually, I can't do that tomorrow because I'm taking the tires off right now. Tomorrow night we can. I'm gonna take the tires off. I gotta label them. They're all directional rims, but I gotta drop the rims off tomorrow to get new tires put on. So, all right, let me pick up the mess on the floor, and then we'll rip off all 4 tires real quick and throw them in the back of the truck. All right, guys, I'm done for the day. I got all 4 tires. Austin just got home from class. He's putting them in the back of the truck. I'm gonna drop them off tomorrow. And if I get a chance, I'm gonna bleed all the brakes, get all new brake fluid in while the tires are off tomorrow. I gotta put a new starter in the excavator. So we'll see if I have time. But the cats are locked up. I got the door open. Tires are all in the truck. Car's airborne. I'll lower it down a little bit so if it does crash, it's not such a terminal fall. And when you see it next time, we'll be putting new rubber on there. Kind of curious to see what kind Austin bought. Hey, good morning, guys. All right, we are on our way to drop off the rims to get new rims on for the Corvette. We have them all labeled because the rims are directional and the tires that he got are directional. And I picked up a skeleton bucket for the excavator right there. All right, and then after I drop those off, I got to come back. I got to put a new starter in the excavator. I just got it in last night. So I put a starter in 2000 and the starter died already. $680, I think it was, on cat.com. But anyways, I got to put a new starter in. So I just got another one in last night. So drop those off. Then we're going to come work on the Caterpillar. But right now it's about the Corvette. Get that car on the road for him, or at least get it rolling. All right, just picked up the 4 new tires. The ones that he picked out are the Toyo's Proxies 255/50 R16s. They are directional tires and they are directional rims. So these 2 are the passenger, those 2 are the driver side. So I actually picked up this Meguiar's all-wheel cleaner. We're gonna try that, try to get some life back into these rims. And then I got my pressure washer all set up so I could rinse them off good. Well, they're washed. They're a little bit better. They're at least presentable. I missed some spots, but it's all right. Look at the tread on these tires. And I noticed on the insides of these rims, oops, let me stop it from bouncing around. And it actually says, install right side, install right side, install right side, right side on all the rims. Right side would be passenger, and that would be correct. So we do have the correct 4 rims, and they were on the correct side. So, all right, let me bring these up to the car. I'm not gonna put them on though. We did a transmission filter, and I put 4 quarts in. I think I'm low 1 quart. I still have not started it up and warmed it up because I have the tires off. But before I put the tires on, I'm gonna bleed the brake system, and I'm gonna use my pneumatic bleeder to bleed out all the old brake fluid so I can put all new brake fluid in the system. That way at least it gives us a little head start, and it's not 30-year-old, 40-year-old brake fluid in there. So let's get that done first. The brake fluid switched out, and then that way I can put the new tires on the car, back it out, warm it up, get a proper level of the transmission fluid on there so I can top it off. These new tires are so grippy. When I lower the jack down or the lift down, the suspension's at full travel. The tires are still cantered in because they won't want to slide out a little bit. All right, well, let me start this thing up, back it out, get it warmed up so I can check the transmission fluid. just where I spilt a little brake cleaner on the exhaust right there. Nothing crazy. Engine burns nice and smooth. I think this is an 800, 900. See in the bottom right hand corner there? See, we're trying to, the next step is we have to empty all this. We got to take out the wiring harness. We're gonna pressure wash the entire inside. Get rid of all the crud in there. But right now I just want to check that transmission fluid and then check the engine oil. I'll drive it back in where it's level in here, and I'll check the transmission fluid once it's warmed up. I think I'm a quart low. Nice new tires, huh? Look at us, huh? And they definitely are grippy. They're definitely sticky tires. We have an exhaust leak up front on the exhaust manifold on this side. That exhaust knock or tick you hear is ticking right out of here. Fuel regulator's temporarily done right here. It's keeping us right at 5.5, 6 PSI right there. Perfect for that carburetor, according to the paperwork. New transmission lines, braided transmission lines, new radiator, valve covers, intake manifold. Got rid of the air pump. We reused the old gooseneck, radiator gooseneck, the thermostat, because they don't make them anymore, and all the aftermarket ones are in the wrong angle. But what we ended up doing was getting a radiator extension, which is just a piece of aluminum, full aluminum this big on the inside. Took a piece of the old radiator hose, cut about 3-4 inch piece there, just made it longer, and it fits perfectly. Put a new lower radiator hose on right there. This is a new radiator hose going to the heater core, which the worst thing in the world right now is turning the heat on, because then you have a bunch of cooked mice, all the mouse remnants come at you. So that's the next step for him. He's going to concentrate on doing his whole interior so we can just wash and paint the whole inside. Please put a fresh clean coat on it. And then he's doing toggle switches. He's going to rewire all the doors and the dash, and I do believe he's just doing toggle switches on aluminum. Not bad tires though. I had them leave the paper on so Austin can see the actual tires. The horn doesn't work. We got to fix the horn. But other than that, everything's going really good. So definitely a learning process for him and for me. But it's fun. And it's not too expensive. Oil pressure's at 66. Temperature's at 181 if you can see it. Let me turn this on an angle. Oil pressure. Coolant temperature. And your RPMs are at 1,000 right now. I even put an oil change sticker right there. But we're not going to wait that long, obviously. All right, I'm going to roll it up and down the driveway a little bit. I'm not going to ruin those tire tags, I don't think, too much, but I'm going to roll it back and forth to get the high transmission fluid circulating. All right, so the biggest problem with a pit is making sure you don't fall in when you go to walk around. All right, I'm gonna go on the other side. We're gonna check the transmission fluid. I lowered the idle down to 750. So you always gotta remember the pit is open. We'll walk around here. Here's a transmission filler right there and a dipstick. So let me get a rag and I'll check the transmission fluid. And it should be low. That's going to be the low point right there, and that's the full low. Yeah, we're right at here. I don't know if you can see that, but we're right at add 1 pint or half a liter right there. Yep, brings it right up to the full. Well, I've been wanting to rinse it off, get some of the chemicals off, and we missed a couple mouse nests and stuff like that in here, the acorns. So I'll let it sit here now, let it dry in the sun, and I can go do some of my stuff. I have to go do an oil change on my excavator, a little mini excavator. So, all right, well, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I do believe this is going to be the video for the transmission filter changed. 1984 Corvette with a 700 R4 transmission, automatic. It's part of my son and my every Friday episode until we get this car roadworthy. A couple steps closer. Don't forget to like and follow, and check out some of the other videos on the Corvette, starting with video number 1, and then some of my other videos. Hope you enjoy them. Like and subscribe.